So we split those things in order to get what you want from me. You're asking me for, I don't know, some ice cream or whatever it is. Then that's what you have to do to earn it. Just so she can have that, the feeling like I'm not just going to receive. Because I think sometimes we struggle, and I don't know if this is a part of your experience or not, but I feel like sometimes I'm trying to overcompensate for maybe the other, maybe some other people that for just what I didn't get or what I didn't experience. And so, I never, even if I say we'll be somewhere in a car and I'll be like, Lauren, maybe I don't have cash on me. I'll be like, you got some money? Let me have that $5 back. But I'll be like, I'll give it right back to you. But it's like that. If we want to give a homeless man $5, or if we're in a situation in a store, but making sure that always give my daughter her money back, if not more. I know that's not, I don't know if that's what you asked me, but I just always try to make it not, I don't try to make it her responsibility, feel like she has to kick in to the household at all. Like I just don't like the idea of that.
Well, you touched right on what I was saying. This, as a child, you feel like you feel like you've overcompensated on some of the things that maybe you didn't have. That's
Yeah.
another thing that we see a lot. Dr. Phil had a whole show of kids who felt entitled, and you tell them to get a job and they start crying because my parents gave me everything. And what was the parents' answer was, well, I didn't have this as a child, so therefore I know I have done wrong by not teaching my child. So it is a different cycle, and there could be many things that go into this. So Joe, how can parents, this is a tough one. How can parents create an environment where kids feel comfortable discussing money without fear or guilt or shame?
Yeah, it always comes from processing with your kids the right way, meaning you seeking understanding of what they already know, versus just kind of telling them what you think to be real. Like, what do you understand about this? What are your ambitions as far as how you're going to live in the future? Like, what do you. So let me explain to you what that's going to entail based on what I know. You know what I mean? Here's what you're going to have to do. Here's what you're going to. That it's always an educational thing, right? Not just yelling at them or pushing off your own anxieties and fears onto them. Like in this situation, that boy is going to think his only value is going to come from what he can produce. So if he doesn't produce, he has no value, and this is where this is where a lot of brothers are right now, caught up in all their value is caught up in what they can produce, and if they can't produce anything, then they fall into depression and start hating themselves because they don't understand their presence is alone has value. You being there has value, not just you producing. So we have to have those
Mm.
conversations, Lala, open and honestly about what we're dealing with. I'm very honest with my son um, all the time, and we have real conversations, and he appreciates that. Um, but I don't, and I try to not project onto him a lot of my fears growing up. I really do my best to ask him kind of where his head is and what he believes, and I challenge him too. You know what I mean? I'll just let him believe what he wants, um, but I challenge him the same.
That could be a very dark place, and you can take a long time to shake yourself out of that, and we don't want to do that for our children. I still believe kids need to be kids. They need to have fun. They don't need these type of responsibilities because you only get one childhood, period. You can't go
Period.
back and get it again. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.